Let's talk about sports and sportsmanship. It's been a while since we've had one of these stories. There was a soccer game in northern Michigan, maybe a week or so ago. The story is getting out now because a kid named Kevin Hubble of Benzie Central broke not only a state record, but a national record for most goals in a game. The game was called off at halftime when Benzie Central was up 17-0 against Kingsley.
Mm-hmm.
Kingsley has not won a game this season. I don't know how far they're along into the high school soccer season. But again, Kevin scored 16 of the 17 goals.
Mm-hmm.
That's a record.
Mm-hmm.
The record was set back in 2003, I think. And, of course, now the Kingsley coach said, unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike to have him in there scoring
to
16
run up the
goals.
score like that.
It's a record, though. I mean, that's pretty cool to have the record to score that many. What? It's high school level? Or
correct.
What are your thoughts, Dave? We just talked about a team. It was the Baltimore Ravens going for a rushing record and running a play on the last play of the game when clearly the game was finished.
Normally you would see them just kneel.
And the opposing coach for the Broncos said this Bush League, but that's exactly their MO. They're a Bush League team to do something like that. But I think if you're a pro and you're being paid, it is
different set of rules, I think.
But high school, I probably would have pulled the kid out. If it was like 8-0, I would have. If he had scored 6 or 7 and the score was 8-0, I probably would have said, all right.
It appears, they say, that the kid and his coach, Kevin is his name, and his coach, Chris Batchelder, knew the records were possible. I guess they knew that this team, it was weak, did not have good defense, etc. And the coach said, I knew everyone would not agree when Kevin broke the record. I knew there would be people upset. He said, but if you have any criticism directed at me, not at the kid. Here's an interesting factoid, little side note. I don't have the name of the young man who broke the record, or I'm sorry, who set the record. 15
previously,
years ago. And he said, I was lucky I did it in the days before Twitter and social media.
Well, that's true.
Oh, yeah, because he had to stay in a game, too. I mean, he scored 15 goals in a game. Now it gets criticism.
Now it goes around the world in a blink.
You catch crap.
That's very like Cobra Kai, sweep the leg, though. Like you find out no mercy. You find out your opponent's weak. This is the one we're setting the record on.
If you live in that world, you're a soccer person or whatever world you live in, you know the records. And, I mean, those records get set, and you kind of want to beat them. I mean, if you're at the same level of play with another high school team, get a better goalie.
Well, I'm from the Miyagi-Do karate.
What does that mean?
Mr. Miyagi teaches you win, but you do it with class. You don't have to set records. It's not about the records, really, is it? It's about, he said Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do. That's fine. Now, it's
if
not
you're watching the show, you get it.
Not as popular a dojo, but it would be mine. It would be Mr. Miyagi. You all remember the great Pat Morita who played him.
Yeah.
And that's what I would be. I would have pulled, if I was a coach, I'd pull him out. Once you're up, 8-0, and it's clear you're just killing the other team.
Coach says blame me.
Yeah, I do. I blame the coach. I don't blame the kid. I blame the coach. And I would have pulled him out at the high school level.
But what's he supposed to do if he's not pulled and the coach doesn't pull him?
I blame the coach entirely. I don't blame the kid at all. I think the coach should be blamed, and I think the coach should have pulled him out of the game.
I mean, they stopped it at halftime.
Anyway, right. They already stopped it at halftime. We know this team is getting slaughtered out here. I mean, they could have beat them 40-0 if they'd wanted to. It's like when high school basketball, if the score is 75-2, I'd go ahead and take out my starters and I'd tell the team, let's just ease off the throttle a little bit. At high school,
record be damned.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I wouldn't care that much about the record. But a lot of people disagree. A lot of people say go out there and play. It's just you're on one side or the other of it. And if you're getting paid, I'm okay with it. If you're not, and these are kids, I don't like it. Jeff, you wanted to comment on this. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Pete, you on as well.
Thank you.
I don't see the issue. Two teams are there to play a game and win or lose.
Yes.
I think what the issue is the participation generation is upset about it.
It's true, but hasn't there always been a thing called sportsmanship? I mean, if you're in high school and you're a quarterback and your quarterback has thrown 8 touchdowns in the first half and the score is 56-0, don't you go with the backup quarterback in the second half?
The way I see it, if a kid had a chance to set a record, and that's the issue, let the kid get his name out there.
Yeah.
I ain't got no problem with that.
Even against weaker, I mean, this is a weak team they're playing, clearly. I mean, you're just beating up on them,
Well, I've been in both sides of the ball. I've had my butt whooped so bad that I didn't want to play the next day or the next week, and then I won so well that I felt good for the.
Well, many would say the losing team has character built from that too.
Yeah,
take your butt whooping, whatever. I get that side of it. Thank you, Jeff. I saw a kid.
I don't think they'll be damaged by it.
The other team, I probably will look back on it in and go, we were
with time they'll have perspective like, wow, we were terrible.
Yeah, we were awful.
And if he wouldn't have come close to that record, you probably wouldn't have even heard about this if they were a couple of goals short of that.
Agreed.
Yeah, guaranteed.
If it had been
never
14,
would have made the news.
No, it wouldn't have made the news.
And it still would have been a slaughter.
Yes. Yeah, it would have been. But if there were no record, if he didn't know, it probably would have taken the kid out.
True that.
I saw a kid. This was on the Today Show weekend, Willie Geist.
What are you doing? I thought we taught you about this. Why do you get roped in?
That's when you do the weather.
I watch you on weather.
I don't watch it, and I'm
They
there.
showed a 7-year-old kid score an amazing soccer goal, and that was incredible. And as he scored it, he turned toward the camera. And this one, I can't do it justice on the radio, but he turned toward the camera and he went like this.
Whose camera?
His parents.
Oh.
And he's like,
that pose?
He did the pose like, look at this. And he's 7. And I said, if I was Willie Geist, I'd say, or if I was the coach, I'd say, you're out. That's it. You're off the team.
But I think that's what all the soccer stars do. Like
they do.
Megan Rapinoe does that move.
I know.
And football. I mean, you see it every time they score or sack the quarterback, they run to the end zone.
Oh,
now.
I know. I don't care for that either.
That's the
And
world
not
we
at
live
7, Jack. Not at 7.
Everybody's got a phone.
It's men. Of course, it's men. So, mine's bigger than yours. Woo, let's go pose. Let's go pose. I don't get it, man. I don't do it. I don't like it. I don't like that mentality. You're dumb. And, team recovers a fumble. They could be down 14-0. They go to the end zone.
6 of them run to the end zone.
Oh, yeah. It's like, you just did your job.
You're still down by 10 points.
It's like, it's like if I win a game of put up or shut up, going, ooh. I mean, I do that sometimes, but still.
He does.
Come on.
You shouldn't.
If you do your job. It's like Chris Demm winning today and be just like, ooh, crotch point, whatever. You can give me that.
You don't have to.
I know. We
Numbers
used
speak for
to, but
themselves.
then they put the cameras in. Now Chris Demm has to act all dignified.
That's right.
And talk about racking up the score. Look at Chris Demm.
We used to do all kind of motions in here when Chris Demm would win. Xing over our crotches.
Brian, you
Dave and him had a whole cannon celebration. Boom! Then they put in the cameras and all the good times had to stop.
Brian, you want to comment on this soccer record? Go ahead.
Hey, so aren't records made to be broken?
Of course. Yes, they are. Yes.
So then why is people up in arms about this? I mean, it's stupid.
Well, probably because you're just beating up on a defenseless team. I mean, in that case, he scored how many goals? 16. In that case, why don't they demand to play the second half so he can get another 16 so that he can hold the record forever? So he can put the record further out. You're just beating up on a team that's not as good. And I just feel like in high school, I understand the other side of it. I just feel like in high school, look, you play to win the game, you put it away, you take the star out of the game. That'd be me. That'd be my thing. I wouldn't want the record that way. I mean, look who you're beating up on. It's this poor team.
Maybe they knew at halftime they're going to call a game, so might as well go ahead and rack it up while you got time.
That's probably a high school regulation, like a state law.
Probably is. Probably so.
Mercy rule.
Lee, you wanted to comment on the soccer goals and the records. Go ahead.
Yeah, like the others, records are made to be broken. But, in college, if a football coach has a crappy team, they replace the coach. Maybe that should be the thing here.
All right. Okay. There's a thing called dignity and sportsmanship.
Yeah, high school level's a little
coaches don't
different.
get paid like college coaches as a rule.
That's
somebody's
right.
got to teach driver's ed and physical education.
Right. They're not going to get. They're going to fire.
That's all they got.
The coach. Right. All right. One more quick call on Eric. Go ahead.
Kelly, you're not coaching nor playing. If you were a coach of one of these great winning teams, you'd let every bit of that go on all day long.
Well, listen, I can tell by the calls we're split 50-50 on this thing.
As always.
Why continue this beating?